What is going on, guys? Spartan D here, and we have the next unit that will be releasing in 1 to 2 days, and Evelynn, the Pathogen version. Here you see her design, pretty cool. You've already kind of seen what she does in game if you've been doing supply prep, if you unlocked that yet. But even if you haven't, here you go. We're gonna run through exactly what she does, what she will be doing, all that good stuff. Here's her stats. Here's her stats at 6 stars. Don't really worry about this. A lot of you likely won't have her at 6 stars unless you're a whale. You're more than likely gonna want her at 5 stars. Just to use those sequences for, you know, the talent levels and all of that. But once you get that situated, you can get her to 6 stars if you so choose. It's like the stats here from 5 stars to 6 stars, like you get that, you get more than that through the talents level, especially with like the 10 sequences, because it's going to take 10 sequences to get from 5 to 6 stars. So it's more important to get it through the talents than to get it through the, you know, starting them up. So hopefully you have, hopefully you've been doing combat training and stockpiling up on those, because they're going to come into use pretty soon. But here we go, let's get into it. Here we have her ultimate, disappear at the end of this world. So she transforms into a mechanical ball, dealing 567% damage to all enemies within a certain range, increasing the damage taken by the enemy by 5% for 10 seconds. And when you have her mech, it's going to do the same damage to enemies within the, you know, within a certain range. Increase the damage that enemies take by 5% for 10 seconds, and making Evelynn's corrosion damage increase to 10%, and the effect can stack up to 30 times. So right away, that seems like it can very much get out of hand in terms of like the amount of damage that can be done. But we'll see if it ends up mattering going through the rest of her kit. So skill 2, despair because of your own weakness. When Evelynn hits an enemy with an attack, the enemy loses 5% attack durability per second for 5 seconds. Okay, attack durability. I guess she's lowering their attack. Yeah, yeah, it's definitely lowering their attack. That's what that means. The attack durability, the translation, it's lowering the attack. Okay, so when you have her mech, when you hit an enemy, they will lose 10% attack per second for 5 seconds. And the enemy's damage is also increased by 5%. So they'll be taking 5% more damage just from getting hit by her. That's interesting. Now, I'm wondering if this increases per second, so it's like up to 50% at one point that their attack gets reduced. Because it doesn't say whether or not it's refreshable or if it, you know, or if it, you know, drops more than, you know, the initial 10%, or if it's just a consistent 10%. But the fact that it says that the attack it's being reduced per second for 5 seconds leads me to believe that, you know, at that 5-second mark, it's going to be as low as 50%. And if it does work that way, does that also mean that the enemy's damage, well, it says, and the enemy's damage is increased, you know, the damage taken is increased to 5. that might just be a stagnant 5. But I guess we'll see in game. Playing around with her. Here's her third skill. Shaking the Endless Darkness. What it does is, when fighting, her attack speed is increased by 20%. Okay. When you get her mech, her attack speed is increased by 20%, and her energy recharge is increased by 10%. Interesting. That's good that she has some built-in energy recharge, considering that her her energy cost is 6,600. That's pretty darn high. That is abysmal. That is abysmal. So maybe you end up wanting to stack her with some attack speed and some energy recharge because of this effect here, the fact that corrosion damage can stack. I'm wondering if her last skill will end up. I'm wondering if it'll synergize with her ultimate. Let's see. Or if it's just a good standalone on its own in conjunction with the ultimate. Hopefully it's the the latter, not the former. Well, here's her fourth skill: be swallowed up by the world's malice. When Evelynn hits an enemy in a debuff state, there's a 50% chance that all the debuff effects on the target will be refreshed. And when you have her mech, when she hits an enemy in a debuff state, there's a 55% chance that all the debuff effects on the target will be refreshed. Okay, okay, so let me explain why this unit is incredibly good for a lot of teams, for a lot of pilots. This makes Evelynn basically the centerpiece. She is the cornerstone to a lot of these teams. I'm thinking of units like a Bernadette. I'm thinking of units like Alexa, PN26, Favia, Smiley as well. She activates, and there's other units too that I'm missing here that I'm sure you guys will let me know in the comments of which, other ones there are. But those are just the ones that I can think of off the top of my head. She is going to make it so you no longer have to worry about refreshing those effects. You definitely want to build her with some attack speed just so she can continuously refresh. This is going to end up being so incredibly strong. This is going to be a disgustingly strong unit with the right team. This is definitely more on the niche side, but it's in a good way. This is definitely going to be something worth looking into. I'm definitely going to be looking into this. I'm very interested in this unit now. I didn't know that she would end up doing something like this, because I'm actually interested in a debuff team. So this is yeah, I'm looking forward to this, because what I'm thinking of is either Evelynn, Bernadette, Solvik, Smiley, or like Evelynn, Alexa, Solvik, Smiley, just like a well balanced out team. But I'm thinking more so like Bernadette, and the reason is when she pops her ultimate, she gets a burning effect, and that effect when let me make sure that I'm understanding this properly. There is Bernadette? Where is she? We just pull her up real quick. Real quick. Yes, okay. So like you can keep this effect up, which is pretty nice. But this is like the main thing. This skill right here, her second skill. When the target is debuffed, the chance of triggering her fourth skill, which allows her to do 4 times the damage to an enemy, so you'll end up having this up permanently, whether it be through Bernadette herself or Evelynn. You'll have this effect up. So they synergize incredibly well. PN26 is also like a really good option because she does the same thing. She has a debuff of her own. But it's also why like Smiley's a good pairing for her as well with Bernadette, that is. Because of the fact that the enemies just permanently debuff, because of the fact that she increases the damage that they take by like 5%. So this skill, the second skill, ends up being up 100% of the time. Because it just simply has to be a debuff. Favia has her deep wound, her bleed. PN26, she also has her own form of debuffs. So yeah, this unit is very interesting for sure. I'm definitely interested in her as well. Playing around with her, I'll definitely have some fun playing around with this unit and just having different types of teams go along with her. But yeah, these are 2 very interesting units. These are definitely some interesting units in, Aloys and Evelynn, the Pathogen version. But let me know what you all think about Evelynn, her kit, and whether or not you'll be summoning for her or not. Just, feedback, how you feel about her. And yeah, yeah, she's gonna be very interesting to play around with the current pool of units that we have access to with debuffs. This is very interesting, especially her ultimate. Like, her kit is very well designed, just for herself for one, but also like with other units. This is very, very interesting. Very, very interesting. She definitely activates Bernadette like so easily. She's a really great facilitator for Bernadette, an even better facilitator for Favia, because Favia has an incredibly difficult time keeping up her debuffs because of how slow her attack string is, and the fact that she's stationary with it as well. It makes it incredibly difficult for her to keep it up. And with Evelynn's 4th skill, as long as she's attacking that unit, all the debuffs on that unit will be up. So that's really amazing. This is what ends up making her like such a incredibly good unit. She's very much sought after, at least for me, because of that. I was hoping that it would be something like that to, just not only facilitate herself, but the fact that it's helping out other units as well is just, she's definitely great for this reason. For sure, for her 4th skill. I think that's that is that I'm impressed. But let me know what you all think. If you like the video, let me know by leaving a like and letting YouTube know by helping me with the algorithms and getting this out to more people who, you know, they might want to see this information as well. And I'm sure it'll definitely, you know, be of use to them if they are not privy to it. And, you know, if they are, it's just, you know, a great place to, you know, have a bit of a discussion on, you know, how you feel about the unit. But with that being said, I will see you all in the next video.